Welcome to Trifecta Talks. There's been a bit of a hiccup in the stream, so I'm just going to quickly fix that while we're getting the ball rolling. I've had as if things couldn't be any worse or weirder. Brian is running a little late, so things are just peachy here at Trifecta Games. But we roll with the punches. We get the job done, and that's that. So let me just gonna switch that here. Paste that here. And we should be good if anybody comes to this stream. I don't know why it did that, but it did it. And now we have to go back and tell our social media people. That's the worst part about all this. Okay. Let me try this now. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a great Monday. Where we are, it's really beautiful. It's like a nice, cool 60 degrees here. We're finally in that spring weather, no more winter depression. Although I do love the wintertime, but there is something about the, don't know what I'm trying to say, but there's something nice about the springtime. Womp womp. Yep. Kenny's here. Welcome, Kenny. How you doing? We're here. We're vibing. We're chilling. It happens, though. Spread the word. Let people know that we've changed sides. It sucks, but, I guess that's how it was meant to be, unfortunately. That's just the vibe I'm getting at. So while we wait, I'm just going to make some time up for while Brian's not in the room. Before we do that, I'm going to try to upload the thumbnail and see if we can do that while we're still streaming. Okay, I think we did it. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I still can't get this monitor to stay up. Maybe it'll stay up that time. Difficulties, man. I swear to gosh. Now what? Now that my whole computer's frozen. I don't remember something. Okay. Just rolling with the punches. Me too, man. Me too. It was so good. It felt so good. It was like there's something about opening windows on the first day of spring and just letting all that I don't even want to say not dirty air, but it's just it feels like everything just kind of gets clogged up in the house, and you just want to get some fresh air in there. I'm trying to think of the people who call it a word, and I can't think of the word for some reason. There's a certain name for it, and I just can't think of it. Okay. I think this is all I'm able to do for now, unfortunately. What I really need to do, I need to get an Ethernet for this laptop because I feel like you guys see a really cruddy version of the camera, and that's not what it looks like on my end. So I need to get that situated. That is going to be the next purchase for this live stream. Yeah, man, sucks that we had to do it this way. But anyways, enough yip yapping. If you didn't know, today is yes, I understand. Today is Mario Day, which is March 10th. If you don't know, it's March, the abbreviation MAR, and then 10 Mario. So pretty cool there. It's not really an official day by Nintendo. Yeah, it's half the time. It's good half the time. It gets blurry. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's just because it's funny because the router is right there. It's right behind me. So you think it wouldn't be that bad. It could also be Boomcaster that's messing it up. I haven't shared this yet, but because we're doing these live now, there might be a chance we switch over to OBS. just because I think, this used to be for recording sessions, but if we're just going to be doing, but then again, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. There has to be a way to, though, to get around it by using OBS and also meeting live without using a service. But maybe it's me. Maybe it's just the Ethernet. So, anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about Mario and, some of our favorites, or at least some of my favorites of Mario. And feel free to share your own favorites because I'd love to have a deep discussion on your favorite Mario games. But speaking of, before we get into that, it's also, so it's Mario Day. We're about 3 weeks out from like the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and along with that, it is Mario's 40th anniversary, which is a big year. I mean, it seems like when Nintendo celebrates Mario's birthday, it's on a 5-year increment. So I don't know what they did for his 30th, but 35th they did the whole 3D All Stars, which I'm hoping. The hope today was that Nintendo was going to pull the stops and we were going to get a shadow drop of Mario Galaxy 2 just for like the last hurrah for the Switch, but I guess not. I think granted, they're not putting all their stops because they're still going to make Switch games, but it's a little, no offense to people who like Xenoblade, but it's kind of weird that they're putting in such a brand like that as their last game on the Switch. But what do I know? Maybe the game sells really well and I'm just totally in the dark about it. But I would have really loved for them to just drop Super Mario Galaxy 2. And there were also people rambling about like, oh, they should bring back 3 All-Stars to the store. And then like that's like, I don't know, an additional free DLC to get Galaxy 2. So it's finally part of the bundle. And then it stays on the storefront for Switch 2. But I guess that's not going to happen. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the 40th anniversary is this year, and it sounds like they're putting all their marbles into Mario Kart 9 or whatever they're calling it exactly. Which we could talk all day about Mario Kart 9 and what that is going to bring to the table. I mean, I think we know for certain that is going to be a day one launch with the Switch 2. And I think it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive just from what people are saying about it. I think it's definitely going to be like a game that is kind of in the vein of, what is it, Crash Bandicoot, the CTR, that game, where they're calling it to be open world, which I'd be very interested to see how they go about that because I'm intrigued to say the least. From what we got from a glimpse of just the first trailer, I mean it's a big map from what I understand. But like people are also like theorizing like there's certain modes now where like your car is like, or your cart is like an actual like real cart, so like it can run out of gas, so you have to stop at pit stops along the way to get more gas, rather than using items. So I don't know. I'm really excited what they do. Unfortunately, I don't think my idea is coming to the Mario Kart where the worlds are, or the tracks change as you change every lap, like how they're doing in Sonic Transformed. But it's crazy how close I was because it's surprising that actually Sonic is doing that, and I was pretty darn close with what Sonic is doing. So, but as far as that goes, that's really all we know about Mario's 40th anniversary. They could still drop Super Mario Galaxy 2. They could drop Super Mario Galaxy 3 for all I care and give it an Odyssey spin. But I think the likelihood is that they're working on an Odyssey 2 or something in that vein. But there was also the rumor, too, that the Odyssey team was working on a 3D Donkey Kong game, but that was like long ago. But sometimes these things that they say long ago catch up, and we're finally at the moment because Nintendo's very, if you don't know Nintendo, they don't play around. They don't announce a game without giving it a release date. I think unless it's like a big game, like they do with Metroid and they did it with Breath of the Wild. Other than that, they're pretty. What's what I'm looking for? they really want people to be like, this game comes out this year, we have a definitive date, and that's that. They only really do it for like their bigger games. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to hear what your thoughts of what you're looking forward to on Switch 2 with Mario, because I think it's a big deal. It's a big year. We're starting off the console with a Mario game, or a few Mario games, I should say. And I think a lot of that is just due to the movies, the merchandise, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but let's talk about what Nintendo had did for Mario Day today. So a few things that are coming to mind. There wasn't much. There were a few things that they kind of rolled out, or as I would say, as reminders. You got to remember that Mario Day was not a day that was made by Nintendo. This was a day that was made by the fans. That was strictly just like, oh, it's a coincidence that if you write out March 10th with the abbreviation, it spells Mario. And Nintendo didn't catch on to that until, well, then catch on. They didn't latch onto it until like maybe a couple years back, where they started to kind of use it as a bit of a, not a marketing ploy, but just kind of work it with their messaging and communication. So like this year, it's been like, again, like collaboration type stuff. So they worked with JetBlue to get a decal of them, basically Mario-fy the plane. I don't know how many there are. They did like a whole launch thing today at JFK Airport, I believe. I can't quite remember. So that was that. It's pretty cool. I've seen, if you go on the inside, they changed the whole like digital display on the TVs that are at your seat, and they have all Mario stuff. So it was pretty good. They're doing a sweepstakes to go to Universal Studios. I really want to go to Universal Studios. A lot of people think I want to go to Disney, but the fact that they're putting Nintendo World at the Florida one now, that excites me. I'm so down for it. I'm ready to get on that hype train for that. So there's that. If I submit my sweepstake, I'll submit my sweepstake. For now, I am not. Not, and that's pretty much it as far as like, a Lego set is coming. They have a new Lego set coming out, which is a Mario Kart standy type thing. It's being marketed as one of those like adult sets where it's a very complicated set. But it's like, I mean, Lego's expensive. I totally understand that, but it goes for 170, and I don't think I'm getting the real size of it. I just feel like that's such a, like, there's Nintendo tax and then there's Lego tax, and like when you combine both those things together, what you're paying for is extreme amounts of money for literally just the brand. But I was talking to my coworker, and it kind of just like came up in a funny conversation. But I was like, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it's 170 they're asking for. It's a little ridiculous for that little thing. And like some of the other stuff too is like ridiculously priced. Like that's not even the worst. I don't think I ever got a Nintendo thing. No, but the one I really want is the mystery block set. It's got like levels from like 64 when you open the hatches of the block. It's a really cool diorama piece, and I think that's cool. It's probably like the only one I'd get if I ever had the chance or the money to. I'm so afraid to put money down on Lego sets. The only time I ever do is for my girlfriend because she loves Lego. So I've done it a couple times, and I've been gifted Legos. But the other thing is that I just don't have the room right now for Legos. Like I don't have a spot to display my Legos. It's just becoming. I've had to put some in crates at this point because they're just becoming a nuisance. So, but I mean, to each their own. It's a hobby. Yeah, it's like 200. I mean, but like that one I feel like is more gimmicky and fun for the 200. Like it's a bit more playful. You can interact with it. It's not as like, here's Mario. It looks like a statue, and like that for me is like I don't know. I feel like there's a threshold here. Like, I get that it's 170, but 170 is such a weird price tag to me. Like, I would knock it to 150. That's like a good even, like, you know, share of Nintendo and share of Lego. But I don't run the company. I have no say in what I do. I don't, whatever. Um, so what was I saying? Oh, so we were talking. I kind of brought. We were talking about Legos and Mario and blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if like they did the same thing they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, where Lego takes another IP and they Legofy it. Like, I mean, it's just waiting to happen. I mean, they've done so many partnerships in like the last ever since. Geez, I don't know. It's been a long time. Just for a while. I mean, it's been for a couple of years. They've been making Lego sets for Nintendo. So I just feel like something has to come out soon. I mean, they're begging for it, and if they're doing it with Horizon Zero Dawn, I can't see why they wouldn't do it with Lego. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it would just be Mario or like some Lego Nintendo crossover type thing, which would be amazing. I mean, but I don't. I mean, I think the only other non-Nintendo or non-Mario Lego set they did was the Deco Tree. And again, that's you want to talk about expensive. That thing's ridiculously expensive, and it's one of those 2-in-1 sets. And I hate those sets because I just want one set. I just want to choose one version of the Lego set. Because otherwise, and what they do is, what they want to do is they want you to buy it twice so you can build the other version of the Deku Tree, one from Ocarina of Time and one from Breath of the Wild. So it's like, it's so stupid. Like, I mean, it's a business. I get it. It's a business. And Nintendo does the same thing to us, but yet we still run back to them and give them their money because as of right now, they're probably the only ones making good quality games. Hot take, but it's honestly at this point, it's the truth. They've exited uh, the competition. They're their own thing now. Um, that's just basically it. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's about it, pretty much for Mario Day. The other things they like talked about, like, oh, you can use the music app and listen to some classic Mario music, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, that's all right. Play these classic games. There's a cool bundle right now with the Switch, and it's so weird that they're still. I get it. They're still gonna make games for Switch, but so close to like April 2nd, where they're gonna show off this new console. Like, you're really like, I don't know, because like the thing is like children are not going out and buying these consoles. It's parents. And the last thing you want to do is like trick a parent that is not aware of the video game space to buying a console, and then, 3 months down the line or 2 months down, whatever it is, it could be a month down the line, and the kid's like, oh, I want the Switch too, or like this game doesn't work with the Switch, and it's just like, dang, like, oh no, like, what are we gonna do? So it's like it's so I feel so bad when um companies do that, and it's just like, why, what's the point? It's a good deal. I mean, you get Wonder and the OLED Switch for 350, so the price of the console, but I don't get it. It's so, yeah, they're really making it, yeah, well, and that's the thing. I get it, and it just be domestically or maybe worldwide, I don't know, but it just be PS2 as the world's no, I think it is domestically the best selling console in this country. So, I mean, you can't get any farther than that because the Switch 2 is not. Let's blatantly say it right now: the Switch 2 is not going to sell. It's not going to move as many movements as the first Switch did. That's just facts. Until they stop making games for the Switch, that's not going to move units because it's going to be the same situation with the Wii. But the difference is that they're going to live cohesively in the same environment, and that's where they messed up with the Wii U, because they put Target as a separate console, or they made it seem like it was part of the Wii, and then when it came to the audience, they were like, "Oh, this is a whole separate console. Like, I want none of it." And obviously, we know how that went down. So, but I think if they play they play their cards right, which I think they will. I mean, there's no doubt. It's definitely just a brand at this point, and they've kind of entered their own market, to say the least. So, they just have to play around and compete with like Steam Deck and so on and so forth. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's going to be a really beefed up console, and I'm debating taking off April 2nd from work to watch the whole direct, because I don't think I'm going to be able to do any work that day after it is live streamed, and I want to make sure I get my pre-order in, because they promise that there's a bunch out there and that they've produced a lot, but there's always going to be a scalper out there that's going to buy them out. So um, that's my spiel on that. Again, I could talk about that forever. I just haven't had the opportunity, except for now, because I'm the only one here. So yeah, that's basically it. So I guess I'll go in straight to talking about favorite Mario games that I played. I mean, I've played pretty much every Mario game. There's no doubt to that. I've definitely grown from the games that I played. So the first, I'm trying to think. I think the first Mario game I ever touched was Sunshine, and that is just. I mean, for a kid, I didn't quite. I think I did beat it, but I never 100%. I still haven't 100% in that game, because that game is cruel when it comes to 100%ing. It's the step up from 64, which is good in so many ways, but it's a hard game to 100%, and not even worth it, because it gives you like a dumb reward by the end of it, which is like, that's like, do I really need 100% it for a postcard? Not really. So with that, Sunshine was definitely my first. It was on my GameCube, which I still have. Actually, I won't lie. I had another GameCube before, but the one I have now, I think, is like worth a lot of money. I don't have the original box, but anyways, it's the Pokemon Gale of Darkness edition. Didn't play Pokemon. I think my parents just saw it as a good deal, because it was like, oh, you get a free game with it. I was like, all right. And I tried it. I could never get past like the second level or whatever it was in that game. I didn't understand it. So it was pretty much it. But Sunshine was such a beautiful game, and it's one of those games where this is so hard to explain, but hopefully people can relate to this. But if you've ever been to when you're talking about like nostalgia feelings, but like you going back and you play again, it's like it just doesn't feel the same. I think we have these like lenses when we're kids that like make things seem brighter and more colorful, and I don't know, you're not so saturated by the world, I guess. And I don't know if that's just like with age, or the colors from your eyes like slowly degrade or whatever. But as a kid, I can see myself in my room, my old CRT TV, tube TV, whatever, and booting it up and turning the TV on, hearing the on the TV, the sizzle sounds. I don't know what you want to call it, but it booting up and getting that like first chords of Sunshine popping up and just being immersed into this beautiful, gorgeous game. Like, I'll say it now, that like I think Sunshine has probably. Do I want to say this? I'm going to say this. Sunshine is a really gorgeous game. It's a beautiful game. It does not compete. I think out of all the 3D games of Super Mario, Galaxy takes the cake as one of being the most beautiful looking games ever. The water is like the biggest achievement. Like, that was on GameCube. I don't think any game could compete with how well the water and the lighting effects worked really well. It's unbelievable. And if they remade that game for Switch too, with like the rumors that are circulating about the power of this thing, it could look so much more beautiful than it already is. So definitely a favorite of mine, up there. Can't deny it. Other games that like feature Mario, I played Melee when I was growing up. I played Luigi's Mansion. Those were like, so GameCube was kind of like my first introduction into Mario things. I had a Game Boy, and a PlayStation. But with my Game Boy, I was such a dumb child. Let me tell you, I did not. Well, that's for every console. I just did not know about mascots and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't Santa. I don't know what you want to call, but I wasn't taught like, oh, Mario is the mascot, or my mom and dad played games and they knew that for sure, most likely. But I guess I just never latched onto that stuff yet because I was very into like cartoons and movies, and so that's what my parents were looking into. Like, oh, he really likes this movie, let's buy him that. So I had like a bunch of movie games, and that was pretty much it for a while. I think when I really started to understand the landscape more was by the Wii era, where that's when I got Mario Galaxy and what else did I get? I got Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2. I got for Mario's 25th anniversary the All Stars collection, which was basically the SNES original All Stars collection, just ported to Wii. So I still have it actually. I don't know where it is. I think it's over there and it's just buried deep somewhere. But I saw the original casing, I have the original instructional booklet, and it comes with a little CD too with a bunch of like Mario songs. I remember ripping that for my computer to my MP3 because there's some really great vibes within the Mario universe as far as like the music goes. Like, I don't know, you let me know if you have a favorite song from Mario, but mine has to be Dire Dire Docks from Mario 64. That, I don't know what it like. The water levels are the worst in video games. Don't get me wrong, but Nintendo knows how to do water music. It is so that one in particular just screams 90s video game music or music at that time in general. It is such an earworm, that tune. I just can't get it out of my head. It's such a great it's a great rendition. And I think a lot of that like 64 library is just really good. And that might be because um their sound improved obviously from SNES to 64, but it's just that one, Dire Dire Docks. If you have not listened to it, if you don't know what I'm talking about, give it a listen. It's literally a majestic piece, and I've listened to millions of covers on it, and it's so good. Greatest song ever. Greatest song. One of the top 10 songs in a Nintendo game. I'm gonna flat out say it. So yeah, we are Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2, all in, and that was all the 3D games from there. That's all I played. And then we went from, so I went to 3DS. I got a 3DS, and then there was 3D Land, which was fun. I liked it. It definitely wasn't the typical 3D Mario as we all know. But at the time it made sense. It was meant to play on the fact that it's like a Super Mario 2D game, but 3D. So I was like, okay, when you sell it like that, that makes sense. So, but then you get to the Wii U, and well, they did it again, and I know it gets a lot of praise now, but I'll be honest, it's my least favorite 3D Mario game. It's not the greatest. It's not good. It's not that it's not good. It's just when you make a sandbox Mario game, that's what you assume for the rest of them. And to just put all stops at Mario Galaxy 2 and say, okay, we're doing this. And maybe that's just due to the fact that the Wii U was already failing and they didn't want to put all their money where they wanted to put their mouth. Because I think at the time, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I feel like that game came out at the tail end of the Wii U. I don't think that was a first year game. I mean, you got to remember that the Wii U really only had so much of a lifespan. I'm looking this up right now to confirm because I don't want to look like a dork. But let's see. That's probably going to be the Switch version. Nope. Oh, it was. It was kind of like in the first year or so. because the Wii U was November 2012, so it was like a year after. Okay, so I guess we did have it for a while, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess like that was their Hail Mary. Or maybe their Hail Mary was Smash. I don't know. Such a weird console. I do love it. I think I definitely want to pull it out someday because if they're not going to put Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on Switch, then I've got no other choice to play it on the Wii U. Um, I just gotta like find all the wires and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I've beaten it. I'd like its charm. It's just not. It sits in a place where it's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite. Um, I forgot to go back a little bit because on the DS and the Wii, I'll put these into one big category. But I my first 2D Mario was the new Super Mario Brothers on DS, and that was a blast. I mean, that I was at the right age to really get the most out of the game. I fondly remember the commercials, of it talking about like, oh, you get the mega mushroom and you grow big, and it's like, whoa, as a kid, like that's anything that's like big is like, just you're sold. That's the game I want. So I was sold. I definitely wanted in on the game from that point on, and I played it and I really loved it. And along with DS, I also had Mario Kart, but that wasn't mine. It was my brother's technically, but we shared it because you could play that game two player without another cartridge. So we played a lot, and I also played a lot of it too. And that was a good time. That again, such a crazy game that they were able to fit down to a DS, and it, to this day, a lot of people still play it. I think they say it has one of the best battle. No, not battle modes. Is it the only game that has a story mode or whatever? It has like levels or some stuff. It's pretty amazing. Can we need that in the next Mario Kart? Let's put a story in. Just hear me out. Story mode in Mario Kart 9. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, and then with the Wii, we had new Super Mario Brothers Wii, and like that was like a blast. Like we had so much fun. That was such a great game because anybody could pick up and play, and we were just having a blast, just bopping on each other's heads and picking each other up, and it was just a good fun time as we worked on that. So that was cool. So yeah, so that was pretty much it. So we left off at the Wii U. So we're going into Switch now, which Switch doesn't have. Well, there's a lot of Mario going on, but a lot of it was spin-offs, I would say. There wasn't a lot of mainline stuff. So the first one was obviously Odyssey, a great return to form, what we've always asked for, what we've been waiting for since Sunshine, I'd say. I, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just do it again for Switch 2. Give us some more worlds, more stuff to do, bigger lands, make it open world. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do to get us back into Super Mario 3D sandbox games. Just saying. Bowser's Fury, I played that. And that works into the conversation because that whole portion, Bowser's Fury, was an open world, and it's so good on that alone. Hold on. I can confirm Brian is on his way. So now we're cooking. So yeah, where am I? Played Bowser's Fury. That's like a full-fledged open world. It's so cool. Highly recommend it if you have not played it. You have to buy 3D World, obviously, but worth it. Worth it. Totally worth it. And actually, when I played on Switch again, that was the moment I realized it's really not that bad of a game. It's not that bad a game. I think I was just in that Wii U era when everybody was like, let's point and make fun of the fat kid. And that was just the era we were living in, unfortunately. But I appreciate it now for what it was doing. It's very colorful, and it's very more colorful on Switch because it's now showing those colors a bit more than it usually would on the Wii U. And it plays great on handheld too, so it's a good handheld game as well. What was I gonna say? So what else was Wii U or Switch? Sorry. There's just a ton of spin-offs like Paper Mario, both the Thousand Year Door remake and what's the other one? Origami King. Played both of those. Played thanks to the remake of Thousand Year Door. That was my first time playing Thousand Year Door, and I always saw it when I was a kid at Blockbuster shelves, and the cover was always so eye-catching. Like I always was like drawn to the box art. It was so intriguing. Like, wait, I know this guy. I've seen him. But why is he flat? Why does he look like this? So we never got around to renting it. And I'm glad I didn't because I would never have been able to complete that game as a kid. It's a challenge of a game if you know what you're doing. Obviously, great story though. I hope doing that remake reminds them how to do a proper Paper Mario game. Just saying. So as that, it played, Luigi's Mansion 3, which isn't really Mario, but it features Mario in some capacity. And what else do we got? Mario and Luigi, which I don't know why that game got so much flack. Such a great game. Again, one of those games that was like a return to form of Mario and Luigi. There's some issues with the backtracking, don't get me wrong, but I think every RPG has that issue where you're always going back and forth and trekking. But there's a good, later on in the game, you get a nice, what do you want to call it? I don't know, an easier way to move around to different islands without having to row the boat. It goes faster, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the word I'm looking for is, but faster travel. Let's just call it that. But I mean, it's just a fun game. Try it. You might like it. I don't listen to the people who are giving it bad reviews because it's a little unnecessary. I think it's a great game, and the art style is great. I think it chugs a little bit. I think it can't handle itself, but that just means we're getting to the end of the lifespan of this console. But for what it is, great stuff. And it's too bad because I think that company it's the people that did Octopath Travel, I think. So no wonder why it's like a great RPG. But I think they just got acquired. Which wasn't that their name? It was like Acquire Entertainment or something like that. I don't know. But they got acquired by I think it was PlayStation for some reason. I can't remember. Maybe it is Square, but I half of me thinks it's PlayStation, which doesn't mean they don't get stuff to other consoles. It just means that they'll prioritize PlayStation. So I don't know. I've been talking so much. See, this is why you need another person on here because what happens is you're basically just done talking and your throat is like turning dry. So yeah, and now here we are with Switch 2 on the horizon, and I mean, I expect obviously we're going to see more Mario Kart, but I also think we're going to see our first look at the next 3D Mario. And it comes out the same year as Mario Kart. It comes out as a holiday release. I'm just saying. And, it's like, that's a lot of Nintendo when you think about it because, I mean, granted, trying to think of the Switch's first year, because the first Switch's first year was Breath of the Wild, and then we got Odyssey later down the line, and Mario Rabbids, which kind of counts in some way. But it's kind of crazy that, that was all we got. But now here we are with Switch 2, and it sounds like, we got Mario Kart 9. We've got Metroid Prime 4. We've got potentially, I would think, another Mario game. because it's his 40th anniversary. Or maybe the 40th anniversary game is Mario Kart 9. It could very well be. The greatest selling video game um, for both Switch and Wii U. So I wouldn't put it past me if that was the 40th anniversary game, but I feel like it has to be a game that kind of gets in tune with how Mario first started out. But prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And that's all we know so far. But I feel like there's always that holiday release, other than Pokemon, which I don't even think it is a holiday release. That new one, is it a holiday release? Someone confirm. I could be wrong, but they always do at least 2, 3. I don't know, but if anything, September 13th comes, which is or whatever the first day. I don't know. They'll usually do like a direct for these anniversary things, and I think we get Mario Galaxy 2, and that's the facts for Switch. There was also this crazy rumor for Switch 2 that we're gonna actually get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as a shadow drop for both Switch 2 and Switch 1. I don't know. That's crazy if it does happen, though. I think what's crazier is the fact that they're launching this console in the summer. I don't know if any other company has done that. It's so weird to me to do something like that. But I've also heard rumors that they have so much stock that they're ready to launch this thing like a month from the direct. Like, what? Like, you're telling me at the end of this direct on April 2nd, we're getting the Switch 2. Usually you have to wait another 3 months, another 4 months. But no, we're getting it. We might get it in a month. That's crazy and scary. So, I don't know. Brian said he's hopping on. I just don't see him. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Talking so much Mario on Mario Day. I don't even know what else to say. I feel like I've just talked so much about our favorite plumber. I didn't talk about the movie. The movie is great. I do like the movie. Again, that's one of those things where people, I don't think they gave it harsh reviews, but it was like, oh, it's not what I thought. And it's like, dude, like, if you know Miyamoto, he has said from day one that Mario does not need a story structure. It's a very simple story. He goes and saves the princess. I mean, it's a little different in the movie because they make Princess Peach a rockin' girl saving the day. And he has to save his brother, but still, it doesn't have to be crazy. We got some great references to the games. Beautiful animation. The best animation that Illumination has ever put out. They do not compete with Despicable Me or any other movies that they've done. There's something about that movie that is like on pure adrenaline alone, and I don't know how that movie was made to look so beautiful from a studio that everything starts to blend and it starts to look all the same, but that movie just looks different than most movies, I would say. So that's that. Oh man, what you guys doing? What you doing? I have, and then probably at some point in the 40th anniversary they'll talk about the new movie because I think it's next month from now. It'll come out a year, and people are really hyped to see who's next. Like, we know Yoshi's coming, so that's cool. But people really want to see like Rosalina or Wario and Waluigi. Like, who would play those people? People have said like Danny DeVito should be Wario, which is cool. I like that idea. I could totally see like Pedro Pascal doing like a crazy, either of them, like doing a Waluigi or a Wario voice. I feel like he'd kill it for some reason. He'd be really funny about it. I don't know what else there is. I don't know who else could play those characters, but I feel like they need someone. I'd play Wario. Kenny, you got the job. I'll let them know. I'm calling them up right now. Hello, Nintendo. This is me. We've got our Wario. Bam. Done. We're ready. Now, what's crazy though is they've probably been like, or I don't know. I don't even know what they're at right now. Usually by this point they've hashed out a script. I'd say. So I'd say recording is going to start pretty soon, probably over the summer. Yeah, no, I can't wait. I'm really I'm curious also about the Legend of Zelda movie that's happening because I don't know. I just don't want them to butcher it because it's the people that do it's Pascal Pictures that does like the Spider-Man movies. So who would Ryan Reynolds play? Who would Ryan Reynolds play? I'm like trying to like the only voice that comes to mind when I hear Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, so I'm trying to match that up to somebody. Oh man, who would he play? I feel like there's a role for him somewhere and I just can't think of it. You know what? You know who he would play? He would play, hear me out. He would be Bowser Jr. Easily. He could be Bowser Jr. I think if they were to do it, we could, because he's like, I could see Bowser Jr. being this very cheeky, kind of like, makes fun of his dad in some ways of Bowser that like he can't steal the princess and stuff like that. So I could see him being very cheeky in the way Ryan Reynolds usually plays his characters. So I think that could really play into fun, which honestly, I'm surprised I didn't mention that. I'm hoping Bowser Jr. does make an appearance in the second movie. I just feel like it's bound to happen. It would work. Guess who's here, everybody? Yay!
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm well. Sorry
Thank
for
good.
taking so
Like,
long.
you're sick, so it's kind of funny you say that way.
Wait, say that again?
You've been sick, so it's funny how you said it
Uh,
that way.
oh, yeah. It's true. Yeah, I was basically dead for almost 3 days last week. Literally only 2 days after we did that last episode. But
Right.
luckily I feel better just in time. I'm not actually physically on time, but we're chilling, you know?
Well, funny enough, because you weren't here, the
Mhm.
stream messed up on the other video, so I had to start a new stream and then I had to reshare the link on the social media.
Oh,
So
really?
that link is a
Oh,
bust.
oh no.
I know. It sucks. Oh well.
Oh, that stinks. So how's it been going? Aside from that, how's it been going so far?
It's just me and Kenny, I think. We're
Oh,
just talking about Mario on Mario Day.
oh, perfect. Love that.
You better, or else you're going to jail, partner. No, we were talking about so to catch you up to speed on what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I talked a lot. I was talking about like what Nintendo did for Mario Day, and what Mario games I played throughout the years, and basically I played almost all of them. And then we got to talking about, as today is Mario Day, this year is also Mario's 40th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
So we're definitely probably going to get some big announcements soon. And the one thing I said was we might be getting our first look or first insights on Super Mario Brothers, the movie too.
Oh, I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
been in development for a little bit now.
Comes out next year, next April,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Wow.
So we just kind of left it off with like who would be in it. And I said, Yoshi would be in it, obviously because the post credit. But then Kenny mentioned we were talking about actors and who would be in it and stuff, and he said, "Who would Ryan Reynolds play?" And I was like, "Oh, who would Ryan Reynolds play?" And then I really thought about it, and I think a good pick would be Bowser Jr.
Oh, Bowser Jr.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
I
think
think
that'd be
that'd
a
work.
solid one. Yeah,
I think
I
he's
think so.
very cheeky. I think it'd just be funny.
Was
Flat
Ryan
out just
Reynolds
hilarious.
was he confirmed for casting in that, or is he? Or is
No,
this just like
no,
oh, it's just a name thrown out there?
just a name thrown out there.
Oh, okay.
I also
Gotcha.
said Pedro Pascal should play Wario or Waluigi.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
I just think he could do it. I think he could
Oh
do
yeah. Oh yeah.
it. So that's kind of where we left it off. So I
Oh,
mean, if you want
okay.
to share your favorite Mario games,
So I didn't list them because I kind of generally just knew what they were.
mhm,
I think my I haven't played too much of the actual just standalone like Super Mario franchise. I played a little bit here and there. I would
mhm.
say in terms of um I don't know what I want to say in terms of I guess just like hmm. Well, basically what I'll say is I really enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey was
Okay,
really good. And that was the first Mario. I would honestly say truly the first like Mario game to blow me away. I guess in terms of
really.
just gameplay, art style, just the visuals in general. And that was really my
So
first introduction to Nintendo Switch.
I said that was your first introduction to Switch.
Pretty much, it was the first game I really played all the way through on it.
Wow. Well, I guess you're probably one of many.
Mm,
Mine was Breath of the Wild.
mm.
Um, but I was telling everyone here that I think the game that really like blew me away, and it's funny because it's my first Mario game, and maybe that's just how it is. Is like your first game is the one that's gonna stick with you forever. But mine was Sunshine, and I said the
Oh,
same thing. I was like the visuals, the art style, like I really love it. I think it's just that whole vibe of a vacation spot really, and I was like setting the mood. I was telling them like, you're sitting down on my carpeted children's flooring and, booting up the CRT TV and hearing like the explosion sound that you get when
yeah.
you turn those TVs on and hearing the first four chords that pop up on the title screen is like so magical. And I said hot take for this is that have you played Sunshine?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen Sunshine? Have you seen what it looks like?
A little bit.
Okay.
While
I
you're
my
talking,
hot take.
I'll pull up some like
Okay.
visuals.
Just pull up like one where like there's water. Say just put in
Okay.
like Super Mario Sunshine water. And hot take is that water has never looked so good in video games other than Super Mario Sunshine. I think it has the best looking water in a video
Oh,
game.
yeah, I could see that.
Hot take.
I, I
I'm
could
just saying.
absolutely see that. It's colored very well.
It's colored very well. And that was GameCube. That like they put more
Really?
work. Yeah. Like even the lighting in that game is like majestic. Like and I think
Ooh.
that's like the point. Like they put more work into that stuff because they knew, that was like the whole highlight of the game that it was, sunshine. Oh boy, here we go. How is it that when you just entered the chat, Brian, that Connor comes swinging in with his checkers?
Cheggers update. I've now become the co-chairperson of Cheggers Game Company. Now own 26 copies of Cheggers.
He's rising up in the world.
Connor, I'm so proud of you. You'll have to let us know on how your Cheggers Game Company monopoly is coming. And I don't mean the game monopoly. I mean like how you're going to monopolize the game industry with this.
Maybe a Monopoly checkers?
I just said not the game Monopoly.
Yeah, but he could make like how there's like the different versions of Monopoly.
Yeah.
He could make Monopoly checkers.
And monopolize the game industry with that?
Well, no, you can't just have. Well, maybe he does. Maybe this is the only
Yeah,
game he has in his company. But I'm just saying, like, if
maybe.
you want to grow and expand, you got to buy other, like you do a Pictionary checkers.
That's
You know,
true.
you gotta
I
spread your
you know
wings a little bit.
Connor says I'm thinking of starting an Oscar campaign for Kevin Sorbo in the Checkers movie.
Make it happen.
Who does Kevin play in the Checkers movie? If you don't mind me asking.
He's gonna play Cheggers.
Montgomery B. Checkers.
Yes. Um. So anyways, so that was like the only. Is that the only Mario game you've played?
No, I mean I played the original, the original one all the way back. I played Super Mario
All the way
Bros.
back.
All the way back. OG.
85.
OG. Um, I played Super Mario Bros. Like on the DS. Played that one. Um, I think I may have played a little bit of um. What was the first one?
Connor says he voices the case of the Cheggers Wii U game.
He's gonna win an Oscar, no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind.
Game Guy asks favorite Mario game. Mine is Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine is like all hands down best Mario game. Nothing can top it. Sorry, not sorry. I just love it. It's such a great game. Like that game like is the feeling of summer, the first day of summer, the last day of summer. It's a beautiful game. And the fact that it was on GameCube and it looked so good, and it even looks not better on Switch, but like, it's 1080p, so it looks a little bit better. But oh god, that game is just great. I wish one day Nintendo would return to that vacation spot and give us more worlds or levels or returning to certain places. I don't know, that was such a unique twist. And not that Odyssey wasn't either. I mean, the fact that you were in a New York City-esque area with humans was like crazy. But I don't know. That was like, I'll never forget my days in Island Delfino.
I think, and I mentioned it a little bit before. I don't want to say I'm undecided, but for now, I guess I'll say Super Mario Odyssey is probably my favorite. And that was my introduction to Nintendo Switch, and it looked, at least I thought it looked gorgeous just on the handheld. I didn't play it much on TV, because I just thought it looked so good on the little was it LED? Not, it's just LED, right? Just the normal
The original is
the
LED.
originals,
Yeah.
just LED. Yeah, it looks so good on that little LED screen. So I primarily just played it on that because I thought it was just the coolest thing, and I played it all the way through on that. And just like I said, the colors, how it played, I thought it was pretty smooth, pretty fun. I thought the story was actually like I just knew Super Mario and for like the basic story, like all the way to the beginning, just trying to like
Yeah.
save the princess from Bowser. That's pretty much it. But I thought like this one had some like emotional beats here and there. I thought that was pretty cool. Did not expect that, so it caught me off guard a little
Yeah.
bit. And the coolest thing I took away from it was when you're doing the city level and they plays a song at the very end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. That was my favorite takeaway from that. And one more thing, I think I would almost rival it in like just in terms of like a moment. And I think I may have screen captured it on my Switch just because of how cool it was at the moment. Was when you're walking up to Bowser's castle at the very end, and you just get this like a little bit of like a wide shot of the castle as you're walking up, and all the music shuts off, and it's just you
Yes.
walking up. Ah, so cool. That was really cool. That kind of gave me chills a bit. Again, like just stuff I wouldn't have expected from a Mario game because I didn't play a whole lot of the standalone Mario games. I played a lot of the ones that he either cameoed in or was like a part of like a cumulative like roster of like characters. But yeah, I would say Super
Connor
Mario Odyssey.
Connor says favorite Mario has to be Mario Chalmers in 2K13. But this has a great leeway because I wanted to mention this too. But Mario has had some. Actually, I can't think of a lot of crossovers, but this one's a little crazy. Do you know about the time when NBA Street was on GameCube and they crossed over with Mario characters?
I
Do
do
you know about
not.
this? Oh my god,
No.
look it up. Just look it up. Just look up NBA Street Mario, and they put like Mario, Luigi in the game, and you can play as them with like human characters.
Oh, this is incredible. There's a screenshot of Mario like crossing somebody up right out of their shoes. That's insane. Oh, he's
Yes.
dunking in this one.
Yep.
Isn't
Isn't that
there's
hilarious?
Luigi.
That's a real thing.
I would have never guessed. Because didn't Mario have his own basketball game?
Yeah, 3-on-3 or 3v3. I can't remember. It was made by Square.
Mario Hoops 3 on
But
3, yeah.
yeah, it's just hilarious though. Like, and they're like massive. They're like almost the same height as these real NBA players.
It's like when you're playing as like there's like mascot modes in some games. It's what it reminds me of because they're always the same height as like normal players and their like heads are ginormous.
Yeah,
I love that. Oh,
it's hilarious.
NBA Street was NBA Street V3. I'll have to
Yeah.
remember this. Was it
I don't know
on
where it
anything?
is.
Was it just the GameCube version they did this for? I assume so.
Yeah. They did that. They did it with another game. It was with Soul Calibur. They put Link in the game.
Yes, they did.
Thoughts on the live action 1993 Mario movie? It's definitely a guilty pleasure for me. Be honest with you, I've never seen it. Brian?
I've never seen it either.
I just know that like some of the things are really like out there. I'll have to give it a watch one day because I feel like it just got a 4K release, so I feel like there's got to be some kind of love for it as like
absolutely
some kind of cult classic vibes to it. I don't know, but that when that movie came out, it was obviously the 90s. A lot of weird things were happening, and it, you know, of course, Nintendo had to follow that fray, and we got like, you know, humanoid Bowser dinosaur looking thing, and weird looking Koopas, and the only like most accurate thing from that movie I know is the bomb. Like it actually looks like a bomb, and that's it. Like there's nothing else of that movie that's like the same. I will say I like the cartoon though.
From like just looking at screenshots and stuff from over the years, and I just wanted to refresh my memory real quick. My favorite takeaway always from the 1993 Mario movies, that Yoshi's literally just a velociraptor. Literally just a velociraptor. And I love it.
And Daisy's in that movie instead of Princess Peach.
And doesn't pretty sure Luigi gets the lady and not Mario.
Does he? I don't know how the movie goes.
Pretty certain because they made Luigi super handsome in the movie.
Yeah, well, he's played by. Who's he played by? Is it?
I think it's.
I'm thinking of a name, but I don't think it's what I think it is.
It's John Leguizamo.
Okay, it is John Leguizamo. I didn't know for sure.
And Bob Hoskins plays Mario. And in this one, they address that their last name is Mario. So John Leguizamo's name is Luigi Mario, and Bob Hoskins' name is Mario.
So bizarre. I think Nintendo has confirmed that though too.
That's wild. Dennis Hopper plays Bowser.
Yes.
Ain't that something?
It's such a bizarre movie. It's just it happened, and for a lot of people, like Game Guy said, it is a guilty pleasure. Some people really like that movie. It was a staple of their childhood, and that's what they had to work with. You know, like it was along the lines of getting like the Street Fighter movie or the Mortal Kombat movies. Sure, they were cheesy, and sure they were a bit not like the video games, but you worked with what you got because it was like, whoa, like my 8-bit game is now played by real people of real actors. That's cool. So, but I'm so glad. I mean, we're still struggling with video game movies these days, but I think we've gotten to a better place now.
We've definitely gotten to a better place. Just looking at some like recent releases, that we still it kind of stinks as like, you know, we'll be on a bit of a hot streak, you know, with like stuff like Sonic, even like Mario coming out was solid, and we're getting decently good like video game shows. I've heard Twisted Metal's pretty solid.
Yes.
Last of Us is like one of the best just miniseries in general ever. But
Next
then you get so,
month.
and then you get a couple stinkers here and there, and it's like it kind of just it humbles you a bit, honestly.
Yeah.
And you can't be too it keeps them on your toes. You can never be too cautious about video game movies now. Um, I
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
can't even think of the last time we got a bad one.
Um, Ratchet and Clank, maybe.
Oh, I
I've heard
feel like
Ratchet and
that was
Clank
just
wasn't great.
that's such an that movie though. I feel like they wanted to make just so they could make a new game, and they did.
Uh,
Not even a new game. It was like a soft reboot of the first
uh,
one, so it kind of worked out in their favor.
um, I will say the last
Oh, and new
video.
Silent Hill's coming out this year,
Oh yeah, there
and
is.
I think it's like next month. I want to say, but Until Dawn,
Until Dawn.
which
Yep,
looks great.
looks
Like
great.
it looks great. I'm
It
so
has a
like it's very original, but it follows the same tone of the video game. Because I was wondering
which
how
is
they were
good.
gonna do that, and I like the whole like there's this time turner thing, and like when it ends the time, you got to redo it again, or I don't know what exactly it is, but basically it's and I like how they're doing it because it's like every time they start over, um, it's a new different horror genre. So like you get slasher, you get paranormal, you get psychological. That's really cool.
I think with video game movies, they people seem to be upset when too many changes are made. I think it's totally fine because I think sometimes if you follow the formula too much, then it doesn't make for it doesn't I don't it doesn't make for
No,
a
I
movie,
understand.
I guess. Yeah. And I
Well,
think
that's
I think
there's
with
a,
what they're doing with Until
yeah,
Dawn, I think that's perfectly like seems like it's they're making some changes, but it seems like it's perfectly fine.
it works. You know, it's like Last of Us has a lot of changes from the video game to the HBO show, and it
Mhm.
works because video game story. I mean, as great as like as cinematic as like Last of Us is, I think there's when you're developing a show, you got to change the writing a little bit so that it
Mhm.
keeps the user engaged and they come back for the next episode and so on and so forth. So, and a lot of that you're kind of getting more runtime now to like give more character depth and provide more backstory and stuff like that. You don't have to say, well, tune into the next game. That's going to be a 14-hour long game and you'll find out then.
Yeah.
But like this, you're kind of giving it into pieces so you can chunk things out in a way that like not solely acts like filler, but provides a lot of context to certain
Mhm.
situations.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Um
that was a long answer for 1993 Mario movie.
I was gonna say real quick one more thing. Thinking of bad video game movies, we got one last year. Actually, we got a bad one. We got Borderlands last year,
Oh right.
and I still I
Right.
still have yet to watch it, and I was very excited for it. And then it was
You know,
bad, like really bad. It lasted like a week in theaters before it
it's Game
completely
Bang
died.
said the same thing.
Borderlands, unfortunately, yeah, yeah. It was like I said, I still have to watch it, but it's such a shame because I love the franchise. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I think it would work a lot better as a
This should
miniseries.
be this should be a topic of itself because we have a
Yes.
whole lot of like literally I think one April 2nd, 4th, whatever it is, we got the Minecraft movie. So
Oh yeah.
we'll dive back into this topic at a later point because I think there's so much we could talk about. It
Oh,
could be a whole
absolutely.
10-part series
Oh
on
yeah.
video game movies. So, yeah, anything else you wanted to share on Mario, our plumber,
Our funny little plumber.
our dinky little plumber?
Stinky little plumber. No, not necessarily. I think the only other thing I wanted to bring up, if we still wanted to do this topic, I don't know how much you talked before I got on, in terms of like some other stuff.
I was waiting for you to talk about this topic because it seemed like you
okay.
were very interested in this topic.
I
I
was
didn't tell everybody yet.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
So this next one, I'm just throwing one more game on there because I just thought of this. But also, real quick, I just wanted to read off Connor's last comment. One of the last comments, we didn't acknowledge it. Live action NBA Jam movies, but Shaq's head just that big.
It's going to be made by the Spider-Verse people.
It earns $1 billion at the box office, wins Oscars. It catches everybody off guard. All right. So my next topic, or the topic that I brought up to Brandon, and he also seemed pretty interested, was games where we would just place Mario right into the world, and honestly, in any shape or form. And the way I did it was just I put him into what you'd be playing as him in said game. And I went a very specific route for my games. So I picked 5, and they're all games where I wanted to place Mario in terrible situations.
Oh my gosh.
Because we see Mario, I mean, the most violent.
Mario and Cheggers.
Mario and Cheggers confirmed.
Wii U exclusive.
The last game to ever come out on Wii U. We always see Mario in family-friendly games, like his own franchise. We always see him in racing games, and we've even seen him delve into fighting games, which that's the most violent we've ever seen Mario until now.
Dear
so I picked 5 games where I think these would be really funny if we threw Mario into these worlds and you got to play as him. So the first one I thought of was, what if we just put him in the 2016 Doom? We've mentioned it a million times. I think we should just send Mario to hell and get him strapped up fighting demons. Like, the world doesn't change. You're just Mario now. And you're just crushing skulls, ripping chainsaws through people. Your weaponry doesn't really change. You got guns now. I think.
But he does. Can he jump on enemies? Can he do like his own attacks?
Yeah, he can do some of his own attacks. Absolutely. Maybe throughout the map he'll find a star here and there.
Yeah.
And he'll just run rampant. It'll just be a bloody mess. He'll just run straight through some of these guys from hell.
There should be a dedicated section where he gets into a cart and he just runs over demons.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god, let's just do that. Let's just make all the demons like Bowser's minions, and they're all like big scary Koopas.
Big scary Koopas, but they still like explode in like a bloody mess.
Yeah.
Mario's hands are just red by the end of it. I thought of one more. Hold on. What's the name of it? Okay. Okay. So, next one. This one I think fits the best out of all of them because you're already jumping. Mario can jump, he can climb up buildings, whatever. So let's put him in Dying Light. He can already do parkour. But he's in the
yes, because Dying Light is the main thing. The main gimmick is jumping over buildings and climbing walls.
Yeah, he's parkour. He can do parkour.
I know.
Yeah. You can Mario running around, but it's just zombies. It's the mushroom, but in this, it's the Mushroom Kingdom. And zombie Koopas running rampant, still bloody. He's still got guns. But it makes the most sense. This one makes the most sense because, like I said, he can jump around, do whatever. You ain't gonna change his moveset much. Can still play some of his power ups around, and he ain't in hell. He's just in the Mushroom Kingdom, ravaged by zombies. This one,
Save that Mushroom Kingdom.
just save that Mushroom Kingdom. This next one, he can traverse the world in this game with his Mario Kart, and that is the Mad Max game. So we're gonna put him in like the wastelands of Australia. This one, the world ain't gonna change much here. It's still just gonna be like radiation ravaged psychopaths, and he's just running them over with his cart, getting parts for it, building new carts. I was gonna say he's having a grand old time. He's probably not though. He's probably horrified. Not too much else with that. Just raiding bases, maybe finding a Koopa here and there, maybe. But everybody else is still just like the War Boys from Mad Max Fury Road. Another one that I just threw in here right before I started, because this one is more of a slow burn, but I think Mario going through this single player experience would be very funny. That's Outlast.
What are you doing to this man?
I just think it would be funny. I think this man has had too many happy games. I think he needs to be humbled.
He was in Luigi's Mansion. He got scared a couple times.
Freaking Luigi's cartoon mansion. Send this man to the asylum. He's going to Outlast. What is there to say about Outlast? It's terrifying. I never actually played. I never played it, but I've watched somebody else play it all the way through, and that was a friend of mine. We had a game night, and we were gonna pass the controller around playing Outlast, and all of us were scared. So our one friend just finished it. He just played it all the way through, and we watched him play it. So that's why we're gonna do that, because I think we should run it back, do the same thing, but this time it's Mario, and just him doing his screaming, like just a Mamma Mia, as like I don't even know what is in Outlast. What are that? Like just psych
I have no
ward.
idea, but it's been on my list of games to play.
It's fun. I say it like I played it, but it's a pretty quick playthrough. It's a scary little game, but it's a quick one. Now, next up, this is the first. No, actually, no. Technically, yes. This is the first multiplayer game on the list, and that's
Okay.
Friday the 13th. So we're gonna put Mario as Jason Voorhees in this situation,
And then everyone else plays as Toads.
Everybody else plays as Toads, and they're all screaming the whole time. And you're just we'll put this situation in the Mushroom Kingdom, or in like the main, like Bowser's castle.
Right.
Right. And Mario has gone off the rails, and now he's trying to kill all the Toads. Now all the Toads just have to hide and do their best to fight back, and there's really not much they can do. Not too much else with that. I feel like in every situation, Mario would win, and he would kill every Toad. Now this one, this one was.
You keep saying now this one.
This one was already on the list before we started, because I thought it would be honestly the most funny. Because
is this how they're ranked? Is this how they're ranked by the most funny?
How funny it would be to place Mario into these. Because this one.
Can I just tell you?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you the way I did this? I did not like picture it this way. I did not. Wait until you hear mine.
Okay, I can't wait. This one is the most grounded, I think, out of all of them. It's set in like a modern day like setting, and that's Cabela's Most Dangerous Hunts 2013.
What?
You're just first person Mario hunting bears, and the bears like charge after you, and Mario just gets like mauled by bears every now and then.
I like how it's just bears. Like
It's just
he's
bears.
just out. He's out in the continent of Canada, whatever.
He's
I don't know my
just out in
countries.
Alaska hunting bears. Are there any other animals in Most Dangerous Hunt? Let's find out real quick. Can you get mauled by bears? No, it's rated T. I don't know if you can get mauled by them, but it was on. It did get a Wii U port, so it might.
Oh,
Does that mean it will tie into Triggers? Oh wow, there's a whole story to Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2013. I didn't even realize that. Some guy's father dies by the paws of a grizzly bear.
Oh.
That's how Mario loses Luigi in this setting. He watches Luigi get mauled by a bear, and he has to. It's like the Revenant. Actually, we should put Mario in the Revenant, but we just but rather than like this big revenge story, he just gets mauled by a bear over and over again.
Why is anyone killing this guy?
I'm saying, listen, you gotta listen to me. He's been in too many too many E-rated games. He's gotta be humbled. It's been too long. This might be the last Mario day.
Anything
Mario,
else?
If I think of anything terrible to put him in, I'll let you know. But I think that was it.
Let me tell you what I thought.
Okay.
I literally was like, okay, what can I do with this guy? And I literally thought. So, well, I was thinking now when I was talking to Kenny, which I don't know if he's still here, but I was talking about how like Lego and Nintendo have really been like buddy, and they've been making a lot of sets recently. So I was like, well, why don't they just do what they did with Horizon Zero Dawn? And they do a Mario Lego game.
Oh, yeah, we had two completely different ideas.
We did have two completely different ideas.
So you want the best for him.
I want the best for him, but I was like thinking, I guess I thought of it more as like different genres of or types of games.
Okay.
But I was just thinking like, well, either it's like a Lego Mario game or like it's like a big Nintendo Lego crossover game, which would sell like crab cakes. I think it'd be crazy cool. The other thing I thought was, and it's not Mario related, I've actually thought of this before. We don't get a lot of like we've gotten a game for Mario. We've gotten a bunch of games for Mario, but we've gotten a game for Luigi, and we've even gotten a game for Princess Peach twice. So in my mind, I'm like, well, where's Bowser's game? I feel like he's like the next up to get a game. So with Bowser, though, the way his gameplay would work is that his gameplay is like a choose your own story type of game.
Okay.
So like, you know, depending on the choices you make reflects the choices in the game. So I don't know how that would work, but I feel like it could be really fun, like playing as Bowser and like, you know, doing it that way. I guess like in my mind, the way I saw it was like there was that idea, or like it's a what do they call those? A tower defense game where you know you have to protect your tower. For I don't know what force is coming to destroy Bowser's castle, but like it has. I think it's gonna be like some otherworldly force that's doing it.
Okay.
So like you have to like use Koopas and Goombas, and they're like your certain defense systems, something like that. So I could see that being like an indie game that like they would like give the character to and like do that, kind of like that Zelda game. Which that's my number one. That needs to happen. That Cult of the Lamb type Zelda game.
Yes, absolutely. You should get a patent on that.
They really should.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I had. I didn't think of games he should be inserted in, to say the least. I think he's having a jolly good time where he's at.
Oh, I thought of one more. Sorry. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we should put him in Mafia. It would make so much sense.
I guess, yeah.
He's Italian. He's Italian. He's driving around his little Mario Kart. You know how the story goes in the first one, how the taxi driver ends up getting the job with the mob and then works his way up through the family.
It's a Switch 2 exclusive DLC.
They do the whole story for it, but you're just playing as Mario, and he's driving around his little Mario Kart, driving around the mob boss, and they let him in, and ends up just cutting people up, blowing up hotels. It's great.
Who is this guy? I guess so.
This is Mario's big break.
I think he already had his big break.
He ditches Peach. He's like, I'm done. I'm in the mob now. Setting car bombs, blowing up rival gangs, eating spaghetti. I mean, come on, it's the life. And Mario deserves to live it.
Here's one I got.
Okay.
They should do it. It Takes Two with Mario and Luigi.
Oh, that would actually be really good. That'd be really good.
It'd be really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that would. Why hasn't? Maybe that'll be a switch. Maybe it'll be a switch to a shadow drop or something for it. Maybe they'll be like, oh, we either got this studio to help us make it, or we just did it on our own. And then, if they want to come at us for copying the game, we'll go to court with it. But that'd be a good idea. I think they should.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With their art styles they have and everything.
Yeah.
Be cooking.
Well, I think that's pretty much all I had. Did you have anything else you want to add?
In terms of Mario stuff, not really. But I did want to ask you real quick, because you did bring up It Takes Two. If you want to talk about it real quick, because it did just come out. Have you played Split Fiction? How was that?
Great.
Really? Oh, good.
It's super different from It Takes Two, which I appreciate. It's more action packed. It's the fact that you're moving from fantasy worlds to sci-fi worlds really changes the pace.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how far we've gotten into the game, but we played at least, well, if Monty was here, she'd probably yell at me, but Monty's not a gamer. So I'm in where you see those meme videos where it's the boyfriend's always waiting on the girlfriend to finish the level because she can't jump across the platforms. That's what's happening. So
oh, gotcha.
She gets furious really quick. But other than that, we're having a great time. It's just It Takes Two, but better. I mean, it's great. No complaints. Cool. It's definitely deserving of all the praise it's getting.
That's good.
And who knows? Game of the year. Maybe, but Game of the Year.
maybe. Hey, if it's as good, if not better, than It Takes Two, and It Takes Two won Game of the Year, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, there'll probably be some stiff competition this year.
It's gonna be, like I said, Switch 2. I don't know what it's got planned, but just know that Mario Kart 9 is in there, and it sounds like it's changing the game a lot. Mm-hmm. And Metroid Prime 4. So,
yeah,
just throwing those out there. I mean, there's still big competition because you've got Mafia, and what else is there? I mean, Indiana Jones is there.
GTA 6 might make the cut.
Right, GTA 6 might make the cut. Which, if that happens, then I think definitely we're in deep doo-doo. Not doo-doo, but I just feel like it's going to be a very boring Game Awards, to say the least.
Yeah. Ghosts of Yotai.
Oh yeah, dude! I'm so waiting on that still. I really thought they were going to talk about. No, seriously though, because I thought
State of Play.
Yeah. Well, so actually, I will say they did. we were talking about how like Death Stranding wasn't there, but they just
Mm-hmm.
did a showcase at it at South by Southwest.
Oh, okay.
Comes out in June. So I was like, oh, okay. So
Gotcha.
so basically what that means is that Ghost of Tsushima is a September game. It's a holiday release. Or Ghost of Yote is a holiday release.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Should still make the cut.
Yeah. The
Ah,
cut I think
okay.
is like November or no, October? I can't remember. It's
Mm.
weird because if GTA 6 puts out like review copies, they can still be qualified to, like, if the game isn't released publicly yet, but they put out like review copies a month earlier, they can still have people vote for
Mm-hmm.
GTA 6, even though they might not have gotten into the hands of the public, which I find so stupid, but
Mm.
what am I supposed to say?
What are you
Not say it's
gonna
going to be a
do?
bad game, but
Yeah. Oh, not at all. I mean, I doubt it. You
I just
can't
I
predict
just
it,
don't
but.
I know. I just don't want it to be a boring showcase, you know. I need some variety.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just, because it's literally going to be best game direction, best, whatever
Yeah.
is going to win all the categories, no doubt.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have a main character, both male and female, there
Mm-hmm.
goes your best actor, best actress, because you know
Yeah, that's true. Well, I shouldn't say that's true, but they'll definitely at least get nominations
they'll
in
get
each of them.
nominated. But I can tell you right now, it's going to sweep because you got to remember these are the gamers, and the gamers can be, you know, Jared has talked about this. That's why he doesn't like the Game Awards, because their nominations are a bit skewed and they're missing certain like there's no, it's not an actual like academy, like, and like the academy has their ups and downs too. So it's like you're never gonna
Yeah,
win with these type of award shows, basically.
yeah, that's true. But
But I hope, not saying I want to push GTA 6, but uh, you know, I'm gonna really say it. Like, I feel like a Switch 2 game is going to win over GTA 6. Like, there's just, I don't know. Mario
some
Kart is
inkling.
huge.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Did you hear that the game might cost like $100?
Dude, if it does, because of how much it's taking to make it, it's like, dude, movies don't even like cost that much now. It's just like, why are you spending so much on? I was talking about this with a friend of mine, and I was joking that like it was so and so amount of time from like it took Rockstar to make the sequel from like Red Dead Redemption to Red Dead Redemption 2. It took us 10 years, if not more, to get yeah, it took us 12 years, I think, to get from GTA 5 to GTA 6.
Hmm.
Now it's going to take us 24 years. It's just going to double. So they're going to
Well, I will
spend.
say they did buy, or they acquired that. Who, I can't remember the name of the company, but whoever did the fixed the GTA trilogy, the definitive edition, they bought that studio and they're joining their
Uh,
team. So it might push games faster now.
oh, maybe. All
I
I'm saying
forgot
is
which
that
one it was.
this huge budget better be because they plan on keeping this game out for 24 years. It's going to hold the game over. It's going to release on every console for the next 24 years. It's going to look better and better every time. It's going to hold up. The world is going to the whole map is going to be the size of the earth. I mean, like it's if that's what they're building up to, then you know what, so be it. Make it $100 game, but it better last me. Will better last me into my 50s.
Video Games Deluxe. That's who they bought.
Mm.
So we'll
Video
see.
games
It might,
Deluxe.
yeah.
We
Bully.
shall see.
Anyways, with that, I think we're gonna cut it off here.
Gonna axe it there.
Brian, any last words before I hit the end button?
Sorry I was late. Glad I was able to hop on and we could still have a good conversation. We still went for, like, after I got on, about I don't know how
50
long.
minutes? I don't know.
50
40
minutes?
minutes. I'm gonna say 40. It's like a good halfway.
Yeah, just about, because I think I got on around like the 50-minute mark. So
Yeah, 40.
yeah,
That's 40.
oh, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Well,
Well,
Brandon,
we'll see you all. Oh,
I was gonna say, well, Brandon, it's always a good time,
of course.
of course.
And may Jared rest in peace. Just
May Jared
kidding.
rest
He
in peace.
moved
Until
this weekend.
he's moving this weekend, exactly.
So
How exciting!
hopefully, I don't know if his internet will be set up by Monday, but you'll probably see him in 2 weeks. So by the
2
end,
weeks,
the last week of March.
just 2 more weeks. They'll have to deal with just the two of us.
Just the two of
Two
us.
of us.
Two of us.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you all to joining. Connor, Game Guy, Kenny. Make sure to subscribe if you're still in the chat. Give us a like, and we'll see you all next Monday for whatever the heck we want to talk about.
Bye.